Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 uh, Browns preseason pregame show, which is number two tonight against the uh, Washington Commanders, which will start at 7:30 on ABC here at Brown Stadium. Uh, we'll talk about all the things we expect in tonight's game, and we'll talk about Deshaun Watson and all three quarterbacks and everybody that's going to start in tonight's game. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 Browns preseason pregame show trivia question. Which former Ravens running back signed with the Browns for the 2007 season? I will have the answer later in the podcast. Well, the Browns take on the Washington Commanders in preseason game number two tonight at Cleveland Brown Stadium, and uh, we will see Deshaun Watson and one of the Browns' starting quarterbacks in tonight's game. Watson has drawn rave reviews throughout the course of the offseason. Beat writers and teammates state that he is back to being the accurate dart thrower that he was during his days at Clemson and Houston. He's worked tirelessly to go back to his former level, to get back to his former level, excuse me, and also trying, excuse me, am I got my, uh, trying, uh, they're trying uh, to develop Rappaport and get some extra reps with his receiving corps. Uh, Even if he's not 100% back, having him at 80% of his challenge should be more than enough to uplift this team and lead them back to the playoffs for the first time in the past 3 years since 2020. Watson is more than capable of putting up MVP caliber numbers, and the Browns have underrated yet stacked whiteout corpse, even though he might not play more than a couple of drives. It'll still be nice to see what he has been up to during this off season. Uh, and you will see all three Browns starting quarterbacks. Uh, Deshaun Watson, uh, Joshua Dobbs, Kellen Mond, and Dorian Thompson Johnson in this game tonight. You will see them. And so we'll keep you updated on that. And so Deshaun Watson is praising unsung Browns wide receivers. The receiver. Deshaun Watson certainly has enough targets at Cleveland Browns training camp. Uh, at last count, 17 receivers and tight ends are throwing their hands in the air, trying to get his attention. But Watson was asked about one in particular during yesterday's presser, and Cleveland's franchise quarterback had nothing but praise for Austin Watkins Jr. Via Noah Westikoff, uh, and it was cool to be able to watch his USFL tape and then have him come in and help this team. Watson said he played good in the Hall of Fame game. He had to learn quick for him to be productive, and and what for him to be and for him to be productive was great. Excuse me. Watson impressed was impressed with how fast his newest receiver picked up the playbook after his late arrival, uh, and went on to say that Watkins asks a lot of questions and wants to improve every day. Cedric Tillman and Watkins lead the team with 35 receiving yards each against the New York Jets last week in the 21-16 win. Watkins made the highlight reels, by taking a quick pass and turning the field between defenders for a touchdown. His path to the Browns' 53-man roster might not be easy, but he put himself in the conversation. And another big player, too, Watkins could find his name listed in the 6th or 7th wide receiver spot. And with his 6'3", 210-pound frame, speed, and good hands, Watkins looks like an NFL wide receiver. But if he makes the Browns roster, it will cap off a less than routine path to the top. Watkins' college career started at Dodge City Community College before transferring to UAB as a junior. He earned all conference honors, but a pandemic affected schedule and stat line left him undrafted. San Francisco waived him with an injury after signing the 2021 UDFA when Watkins began his professional tour. That includes stops with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Canadian Football League's Saskatchewan Roughriders. He joined the USFL in October of 2022, only to see his team decide to take a hiatus. The entire Tampa roster was transferred to a new team, the Memphis Showboats, who traded Watkins to Birmingham. Watkins finally got to play, finishing the 2023 USFL season with almost 200 yards and a league championship. Birmingham released him in July to sign with the Browns, and the rest is yet to be history. And that's what Watson is praising right now. And I will say, and we'll get back to, and I say this was good praise. I think Watson feels pretty good about it. We'll get back to talking more Browns in just a moment, but right now it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scout Sports 101 Browns preseason NFL trivia question. And which former Ravens running back signed with the Browns for the 2007 season? If you said Jamal Lewis, you are correct. Jamal Lewis spent 3 years as a Tennessee Volunteer before coming to the NFL. He was a 2000 first-round draft pick of the Baltimore Ravens. He was released by the Ravens after the 2006 season and signed with Cleveland. He rushed for over 1,300 yards in his first season with the Browns. And I have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Now, getting back to talking about tonight's game, we will Myles Garrett and Nick Chubb. Well, you will not see them. They are Browns players that will be resting tonight. Myles Garrett and Nick Chubb are among the big-name Browns veterans who won't play for tonight's game against the Commanders in the second preseason game tonight at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Others in that category likely to include Joel Bitonio, Denzel Ward, and Amari Cooper. The Pro Bowl veterans and other seasoned Browns pros will dress for the game, but stand on the sidelines to cheer on their teammates. Newcomer Shelby Harris, the defensive tackle, officially signed by the Browns on Thursday to a one-year deal worth up to $525 million, will sit out the game as well. In addition to the vets who have earned the night off. 16 Browns players did not dress for the game primarily because of injuries. They are as follows: cornerback Greg Newsome II, linebacker Anthony Walker Jr., wide receiver Jacob Grant Sr., wide receiver Mike Woods the second, wide receiver Jalen Darden, wide receiver Marquise Goodson, safety Grant Dilbert, running back Jerome Ford, who was out with an injury, linebacker Matthew Adams, linebacker Sahon Tahaki, defensive end Isaiah Thomas, guard Drew Forbes, tight end Harrison Bryant, defensive end Alex Wright Harris, and defensive tackle Tristan Hill. Newsome is recovering from a groin injury, but is expected to be 100% by the opener September 10th against the Bengals. Walker, a quad injury, and Tahaki, an ACL, are still coming back from their injuries, and as is Grant Dilpin, his Achilles injury. Darden has been suffering from a leg injury all camp, and Goodwin might be lost for all or much of the season with blood clots. Ford pulled a hamstring in practice on Monday, and he will be sidelined for a couple of weeks, Kevin Stefanski said. He wasn't sure if he'll be back for the opener. Wright and Thomas underwent knee scopes this week and will be back early in the season after several weeks of what Bryant is of rehab. Excuse me, after several weeks of rehab. Bryant is suffering from a medical condition that Stefanski wasn't at liberty to discuss, but he's been outside with his teammates during the practice. Dilbert was excused because of his graduating. He's graduating from LSU. Those are the Browns that will sit out tonight's game. The rest will play in tonight's game. And so here's some rookie battles that we'll have in tonight's game. There are 3 rookie matchups to watch for as the Browns battle the Commanders tonight. The Browns host the Washington Commanders, as you know, in their second preseason game tonight. The game should feature several intriguing rookie matchups, and it's important to note that due to the nature of preseason football games and rookie development, these matchups may not happen during the game. Well, with that said, here's a look at 3 rookie matchups to watch between the Browns and the Commanders tonight. Cedric Tillman and Emmanuel Forbes is one of them. Browns rookie wide receiver Cedric Tillman was impressive in his NFL debut. The young playmaker had 2 catches for 35 yards on 3 targets in the Hall of Fame game. The former Volunteer will match up against former SEC cornerback Emmanuel Forbes. The Commanders' first-round pick. Forbes played 3 years at Mississippi State, and becoming great friends with Browns quarterback M.J. Emerson Jr. during that time in Starkville, Mississippi, earlier this year. Forbes participated in Greg Newsome II's charity softball game. Forbes returns to Cleveland tonight in a less friendly environment. Tillman and Forbes never faced off during their SEC careers, so tonight will be a fresh look at 2 rookies who use their size and strength to dominate their conference. Tillman, standing at 6'3" and 205 pounds, excels at using his upper body strength to beat press coverage. He will have the opportunity to use his strength against Forbes, the 6'1" 170-pound quarterback. Uses his quickness and technique to disrupt routes in press coverage. While Tillman can lean into a nearly 45-pound weight difference, he will have to focus on keeping his feet moving beat Forbes when the two clash. I hope to see fish cups during the roots between the two hard-nosed competitors. Tillman will need to prove he can consistently beat press coverage in the NFL. Forbes needs to prove he can press receivers who outweigh him by over 30 pounds. This is a great matchup between two rookies looking to prove they belong in the NFL. Hopefully, we see it often tonight. The next one is Sakaya Akai versus Ricky Stromberg. Sakai Akai looked like a brick wall against just last week. The rookie defensive tackle did a good job standing tall against double teams. The third round pick made an impressive step on tackle, and during one of the Hall of Fame games, the rookie looks to build upon the strong performance against fellow rookie Ricky Stromberg, drafted by the Commanders in the third round. Stromberg displayed excellent acceleration as a prospect, but a penchant for bending at the hips sacrifices leverage at power. As the Browns run, even front, Ika will probably never be lined up as directly over Stromberg. So the way we see a true one-on-one threat between the two. That said, I'll be looking for Ika to slow down Stromberg from working to the linebackers on run schemes and neutralize or split any double teams. Stromberg may help on while the signing of Shelby Harris helped fortify the Browns defensive tackle group. The Browns will need to rely on Ika a lot this season. He must continue to play well. The next one is Dawand Jones and KJ Henry. Dawand Jones played an excellent game against the Jets, allowing zero pressures against a trio of good passers. Jones has an opportunity to stay consistent against the Commanders. Jones will likely have the opportunity to go against former five-star recruit KJ Henry from Clemson, who was drafted by the Commanders in the 5th round. The rookie defensive end has received rave reports from the Commanders since the rookie minicamp in the spring. It will be important for Jones to build upon his exceptional performance last week, as many scouts questioned his work ethic leading up to the draft. Jones has an easy opportunity to prove his critics wrong with another strong showing performance tonight. And those are the rookie matchups. And I do believe, I feel the Browns will get the win in this game tonight. And I'm going to say Browns 24, the Commanders 20, I'm going to say. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Browns NFL preseason game number 2 pregame show. I will be back with the postgame show right after the Browns and Commanders preseason game is concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.